Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So time to have a look at Ultimate Yujin, and we will start with the Combat Protocol Transcendent Mod. Covering both of them in one video would have been too much information and confusion, and the video would have been insanely long. So I'll just focus on the Combat Protocol in this video. I'll make a separate video for the other module. This one is designed for solo play. He doesn't buff his teammates, he just buffs himself and uses HP to deal damage to the enemies. Okay, so let's first understand how the skills work, then you can have a look at the build and understand why I'm using certain things. There's one bug I noticed as well, which I'll mention, and then we'll discuss how to use them and I'll show you the footage and stuff. So first up, the passive. So with the passive skill, for every 5000 HP that you have, you get 10% cooldown, up to a maximum of 50% cooldown. Meaning, if you have 25,000 HP, you get 50% cooldown from your skills. Okay. So at the moment, I have put other mods and I'm at 90% cooldown. So you can see 11 seconds here. I have 34,000 HP. If I remove one of the HP mods here, I'm at 23,000. And now you can see I'm not at 90%. I'm still have 13.1 second instead of the 11 second. So that is your first thing with the HP. Try to get at least 25k. Next up, when your HP drops to 35% or less, you can trigger a recovery if you have nano recovery cells. And these nano recovery cells you get by defeating enemies with your first and third ability. So if you see the second part, it says nano recovery cells acquisition chance when defeating enemies 7%, acquisition cycle 15 seconds. So you'll get nano recovery cells every time you defeat enemies, and if your health drops too far down, less than 35%, you will recover it. Okay, and you recover 37 max HP, 37% of max HP. So that is how it works. Now the whole gameplay loop involves using 1 and 3 to do damage and 2 and 4 to recover your HP. 2 also has other perks like reducing the enemy's resistance to critical hit and things like that, but it also recovers your HP. You have to hit the enemy with your serum and it will recover your HP. The third ability, now let's talk about the first ability first. So first ability, you attach a drone and this drone will keep firing at enemies in front of you, up to 5 enemies depending on the range. So if you have max range, you'll hit 5 enemies. And this will take out the enemies, and if you hit them with the serum and then you defeat them, you get a lot of HP back. You will also do 15% more damage. You will do, they'll have a reduction of firearm critical hit resistance, kill critical hit resistance also goes down, and so on. So basically, you benefit quite a bit. Your fourth ability is like a big ability that recovers most of your health. And your third ability uses 15% of your HP at default, and this does a big AoE damage. Okay, so in other words, if we get some Vulcans here and you use your first ability, so you are draining your HP to do damage to the Vulgus. Okay, like this. And if we use our third ability, once again we are using your HP to do a big AoE damage and take out a big group of enemies in a big radius. So these are the two damage dealing abilities. Now for the recovery side of things, when I put a serum forward here, if this enemy dies, they will recover a lot of HP for me. So notice here, see our health is recovering. So if you hit an enemy with your serum and then they die, you recover your HP. Now these guys are not strong enough. Level 260 order of truth is just not strong enough here. And so by the time I shoot the serum, they're already dead. That's why I had to show you the serum first. And for the fourth ability, it's a big, again, ultimate where you recover most of your health. Your recovery is 82.9% or almost 83%. You also have certain other perks like for the duration you get debuff immunity, firearm critical hit rate, hit damage increases, skill critical hit damage increases. I don't know why they gave you the skill critical hit damage increase here, because this build has very low crit, like the 5% here. You also get a firearm attack increase, your skill power increases, movement speed increases. So yeah, every now and then if you do this, you'll keep getting your health back and a few buffs as well. So the whole gameplay loop involves you activating this and keeping your HP so that your drone is always active. And then you keep firing the serum forward. And when enemies die, you'll automatically recover health. And in most cases, just the second ability, spamming to the enemies, will be enough. You won't even need the other two. Now, regarding the number of enemies you hit, this depends on the range. So let's get 7 of them. And let's remove the 2 range modes here. Now, I still have range from here and some from the Arche tuning, and I've also disabled the Inversion Reinforcement. Otherwise, we get the range from the quantum domain as well. But at the moment, we should have about 10 meters, less than 10 meters range. So default is 8, and this is 8.7. So at 8.7, when you activate your drone, your first firelink drone, you hit 2 enemies. Okay. Let's get our health back. Let's put 1 range mode. And put expansion here. So now we are at 18, so more than double. And now we are hitting 4 enemies. Okay. And if we take the range to max with, let's say, amplification control. Come on. Now we are at 24. Now 250 is the max for this one. I'm just looking at it to see. Over here, if you see, it says max expandable range 300. So now we are at 300 range, 24 meters. And if we activate now, we are hitting 5 enemies. So that is the maximum we can hit. Now also, how far away you're standing also depends on how many enemies you hit. So if you're closer, you'll hit only 3. If you're right up there, you'll only hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you stand around 12 meters, let's say, from the enemies, 12, 13 meters, you will be doing a bunch of damage. Notice our health is constantly draining. And even though we are well below the 35%, we did not get any nanocells because we did not defeat these guys. These are invincible. So when you're defeating enemies, you're recovering health faster. But the ideal way is to have your drone running continuously, keep spamming your second at the enemies so that every time enemies die, you are getting health. And once in a while, you use your 4th. When there's a lot of enemies, you use your 3rd to do damage. That is basically it. Now, one bug I noticed which I wanted to mention, hopefully it gets to the devs, or at least if somebody understands this and I'm missing the point, let me know. Basically, if you see here, there are 2 HP costs. There's an initial cost of 271. Initial total is 300. I've reduced it to 271. And then there is a continuous drain. So every second you use 5% of your HP, which has been reduced to 4.5%. So my health over here is 34,150. 4.5% of that is 1,707.5. So they rounded to 1,708. So when I activate this, you'll see 271 as the initial number in red from the health, and then you'll see 1,708 continuously. So 271 and 1,708. Okay, so that is the HP drain that you get. So using 2 pieces here of the Ascending Armory and using these 3 skill nodes, I have reduced it by 0.5%. So instead of 5% drain, I'm getting 4.5. Now, if I put a skill cost reduction mod, let's say strong mentality, you'll see the initial cost goes down to 225.6, and the HP drain, continuous drain, 1 second, is down to 3.8. So 3.8 is 1297.7 or 1298. Now notice what happens. When I do this, you saw the 226. but we are still losing 1708. We are not getting the 1298. So this continuous drain thing, this isn't using the skill cost reduction mods from the mod page. It's working from the Arche tuning, it's working from the external components, but it's not taking from the mods here. So don't use the strong mentality or maximize conservation until this is patched, or unless there's a better explanation or something else, because if it's taking the skill cost from the other things, it should take from here as well. And it's also showing, reflecting here at 3.8%, and half of it is working, the initial cost. The continuous cost doesn't seem to work. But it's not really an issue because, like I said, if you keep spamming your second, use your fourth, and your drone does damage, you won't really notice it. I did not really have much of an issue with the cost of the HP getting drained. All right, so let's just look at the build and the components, and then you'll see the footage and how I'm playing. So the build, Combat Protocol, Power Beyond. We have two range mods, expansion, amplification control, MP conversion, because that is enough. We are getting 50% from the passive. Power increase, because again, we already have the maximum cooldown. We don't need focus on non-attribute, plus power increase will balance your health, your power better as well. Focus on fusion, non-attribute amplification, fusion amplification, 2 HP mods. We have increased HP and stim accelerant. Losing MP doesn't seem to be bothering us. I never really looked at the MP. MP was not an issue at all. So this is your main build. For the reactor, again, because we don't need cooldown, I'm going with fusion skill power and non-attribute skill power. And for the external components, we're using 2 pieces of Firebrand, 2 pieces of Ascending Armory. Firebrand to get the range, and Ascending Armory to get 6.5% skill cost reduction. You also get a lot of HP with these 4 components, and you go with the usual HP and MP and max aim HP and defense on the course. Arche tuning looks like this. So we take the skills, we take the cost reduction, we take the range, we take the enhanced skill power, we take the skills in the middle, we take the MP, we take the cooldown, we go right, and up here, Mutant Cell is Arche Chain Catalyst. We have a few remaining nodes points, so we take these HP nodes further to just give us more HP. For the Inversion Reinforcement, I would go with something like this. Reduce your cost a bit further when you're defeating enemies. Get your HP back periodically, so that even if you forget, you'll get the HP back. And then we use the pain suppression in case you lose too much HP. You'll get your max HP increased. For the dog, go with your sheepdog. This guy will give you the HP. I had to switch to show you the damage in the lab. For the gun, you want to be holding the Peacemaker, so that you get more non-attribute power every time you use your skills. And yeah, that is your build. All right, so I was editing the video and I realized I forgot to talk about the Ancestors mod. Okay, so this spot here, I've left it for the Ancestors mod. And basically what you need here, ideally, is fusion power boost ratio. That is your best bet. So I have this one here, fusion skill power boost ratio in gold. This is the best one I have, 4.424. This increases your power quite a bit. So if you see here, our fusion power is 2.285. With this one here, we get a massive increase to 0.709, balances our skills nicely. We also get some non-attribute power boost, 0.198, so that is good. However, there is a downside with this mod, and that is the range goes down. So if you see now, the range is at 19.4, so just under 250%. So if you remember earlier when I showed you the number of enemies we could hit, so if I was to get, let's say, 7 of these guys again, and we stand here, we are hitting 4 of them. We've lost that ability to hit 5 of them because of that. So the easy solution for now is drop the amplification mod, amplification control, and go with the maximize range instead. Maximize range over here. So you can see the 5 on the right are getting hit. That is the Ancestors mod. Obviously, if you did not have the negative range, that would be ideal. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll show you the footage of the various missions, the Supermassive, the Forbidden Sanctuary, Void Erosion Purge 10, and things like that. And you have been trying this new thing of, talking over the gameplay rather than just showing the clips and, letting you watch it on your own. So yeah, let me know which one you prefer, because I think with this one, I can talk and explain things a little better, and also you don't have to watch the whole thing. So yeah, let me know which one you prefer. All right, so here we are in the Forbidden Sanctuary, the new mission. And so basically we wait and then start, head to the enemies, jump off the bike and activate your first skill immediately. And throw your second ability, the Restructuring Serum. And basically the enemies that you hit will be giving you your HP back. Now, like I said earlier, the weaker enemies will die with your drone before you even get a chance to hit them. Also, by the way, I think with this footage, I was using amplification control. So maybe I'm only hitting 4 enemies here. But yeah, you barely notice it with so many enemies around. So now, once again, hit the Breach Discharger with your Serum. And what that does is they take 15% more damage. Okay. And you can also empty your Peacemaker if you want, because that's a decent gun as well. All right, so that's it. We pick up the cost reduction and we head over to the next area. Once again, get off. Remember to activate your first ability. That should be always running, because you'll be recovering HP, and as long as you have a lot of HP, that ability, that skill will always be active and always doing damage to 4 or 5 enemies. And yeah, you can see I'm using the third now as a big AoE. If your health drops too much, you can use your fourth ability. And also, even if it doesn't, you can still activate it once in a while to get the extra perks that you get more skill power basically. With that one, you can see here 170 of these enemies. That's the third ability. And we are good to go to the next section. So let's move on to the alternate hand of Nazistra, because this is the boss. And yeah, you have to be a little careful here, because this guy does a lot of damage. And also, again, try to hit them with the Restructuring Serum. It's hard to sometimes aim because, again, you're moving and avoiding their attacks, and when you throw your serums, you may not hit them. But you can see we can take care of the alternate hand of Nazistra quite comfortably. Now, I do have a good Ancestors mod, like I said, so that helps. But even if you don't, you still do a decent job here. So yeah, so you just really need fusion power boost on your Ancestors mod. Whatever you get, fusion, non-attribute, if you get those two things, you'll be fine. All right, now let's just move to the end section against the final boss. So once again, make sure to hit them with your fusion. Keep your first ability up, and you can see at the speed the health is depleting of the boss. It's a little decreased constantly. And you can see I just used the fourth to get my health back up. The duration for the Structured Serum is around 7 seconds by default. You may get a little more here and there depending on your mods or something, but there's no real need to increase the duration there. Duration is not needed. You can see we kind of got him quite cleanly, quite quickly. And then your drone will hit the bubble here and he'll be down. So yeah, you keep doing the same thing. Keep hitting them with your serum. Keep increasing your HP. You tend to do more damage the more HP you have, because it's a percentage thing. So at this point, with very little HP, I'll do less damage. But when you are at full HP, you'll do more damage. So let's just move forward to the mission completion. And I got like 6 minutes something, 6 minutes, 28 seconds. So far, my fastest time among the normal Descendants, the Descendants I've used, 6:12 was on Sharon, 6:16 on Valby, 6:47, I think, or 57 on Viesa. So every time I found a faster Descendant, more convenient, I kept switching to that. And I've been using Valby mostly for this mission. And Valby is just a little over 6 minutes solo. And in public, it depends on your random teammates. All right, next up, we have Void Erosion Purge Stage 10. So this is very useful because we again need the cores on the guns. And basically, yeah, just same thing. Activate your first and keep using your serum. Occasionally use your third to take out a large group of enemies. And your serum will do a lot of good job for you. Basically, you will be hitting enemies and recovering your health. You can see my health is down here, so I use the fourth now. And yeah, as long as you hit an enemy with your serum and they die, you keep getting like 19.4% HP back. I kind of forgot one over there, so I had to go back. And yeah, so yeah, basically you can see how quickly your drone fires very quickly, so that is very handy. The damage interval definitely seems faster here on the drone. It shoots faster. So yeah, you can see the void erosion purge 10 is not really an issue. So I'll just skip forward to the boss at the end, Gregory. And you can see even these elite level 260 stage 10 enemies are a piece of cake. You don't really even need your third ability most of the time. Okay, so here's the boss. And you can see we are just hitting him with our second, and our drone is doing the job. I haven't even used the third, the big damage one. And once again, there, I think I used it. Yeah, I used it there. But you can see how quickly we melt him. And this whole mission took just over 2 minutes. And if you remember early on, I kind of forgot one guy. I had to go back, so must have lost 5 seconds over there. But yeah, 2 minute 11 for void erosion per stage 10 using only skills with ultimate Yujin. All right, so next up we have the Supermassive Receptor dungeon. So I'm starting here where we get the Razor Claw. And yeah, once again, you do the same thing. You basically hit the Razor Claw with your serum. Try to land that, and yeah, wait until his shields and stuff are broken. Once he starts taking damage, it's very quick how easily you can get him. So you can see it does not really take much time to take him out. All right, moving on. You can see against the elite bosses and stuff, I landed with my third, and yeah, just take them out quite easily. Again, your drone is enough in most cases, but if you need a big amount of damage, especially when there are lots of enemies and if you have the full range, use your third. It'll take out so many enemies so easily. So basically you have 2 stacks of your second. In the time you fire those 2 stacks, your third will be up. Use your third and then use your 2 stacks. So it's a very simple process. Your one will be up constantly, and you use your 2 stacks of your second, use your third, 2 stacks of your second. In between, use your fourth if you need the health, or if you need the buffs and the other things that you get from the fourth, and that is it. All right, so moving on to Pattern Flores, and this one is good. I deliberately tried to use only the skills of Yujin to take out the boss, and I did not use the Manus. So you can see we are reducing the health of Pattern Flores quite comfortably with Yujin here. Just keep, hitting. You don't have to. It lasts for 7 seconds, your serum on the second. But if you want, you can just, spam it. It will hit the other enemies as well if there are any. And yeah, you can see it's not that difficult to even take out Flores without the Manus, because early on, last month, we had to use the Manus. And notice this third ability. It kind of took out most of the tentacles, 3 of them, I think. And now we are just back to spamming the second and the third. Occasionally, like there, I had to use the fourth to get my health back up. And yeah, even through here, I'm not really bothered taking with the damage. MP, I also noticed MP is never really an issue. I got 5.5, and yeah, I did not use the Manus, otherwise it might have been a little faster, but it's quite comfortable. In fact, I think you can use the Manus here. Basically, throw your serums, the second ability, your drone will be active, and then you chop down the boss with the Manus, because your drone will still keep fighting. As finally, we have the Axion Plains first creator mission for mobbing. And yeah, same thing. Here, you probably don't even need to use the third, although third is very handy for a lot of enemies. But yeah, just use your second. When you have a bunch of enemies nearby, use your third. You can see even the swarm tunnels, they are taken care of quite easily. And if you can even get the ships here, when the ships are close enough, you can actually take out the ship as well with your drone and your third ability. Let me see if I did that later on. So also the tyrants that pop up here, they're quite easy now. Once again, throw your serum, and yeah, you can see how quickly you can melt this boss. There you go, all done. And finally, the Abyss Scarab. Once again, try to land your serum, and your drone will do the rest. At least the first phase is very, very quick. Second phase is also not particularly difficult. You just have to break their shield a little bit. But yeah, just stay close. Keep hitting them with the serum every 7 seconds at least. Although I'm doing it much faster than that. And yeah, there goes the shields. And you can use your third for a big damage. And that is it. So the clear times here, I think I got 3 minutes and 20 something, 3:38. So this is again similar to a lot of other Descendants, VSA, I would say Glay. Those people I tend to clear in around the same time, around 3.5 minutes. So you can see you can clear this very comfortably with Yujin. So this Transcendent Mod I think is perfect for solo players. As you can see, you have a lot of damage. You can take care of even the latest mission, the Forbidden Sanctuary. Even the final boss isn't that difficult. So you can use this one. Hopefully this was useful. Thank you for watching. I'll try and make the other one as well soon. But in the meantime, hope you had fun, and let me know what you think of Ultimate Yujin.